Welcome to the ultimate podcast experience with conversations about politics, religion, finances, and the meaning of life, and all the other subjects and stories that Nana told you not to bring to the kitchen table, and a whole lot more. Join our hosts, James the Red, You'll Be Back, and Sam the slippery smooth producer as they settle the ultimate question, have y'all heard about this?
It's the kind of podcast that will bring China to its knees.
I go to war every day.
You know, bacon will kill you. Bacon will kill you. Heart attacks will.
Gee, she gives me my, 11.5 ounces of coffee.
You heard it here, folks. This is the etiquette for coffee shop.
He would always compliment me on my outfits.
How quickly can you spread this monkeypox to the...
Have y'all heard about this? And we're rolling.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. We're doing something we've never done before.
Actually having a great podcast.
No, we've done that 11 times before.
Yeah, we have done that a lot, actually.
We are meeting on a Monday morning.
And it's still early. It's still
week
too
started
early.
out right.
Yeah.
I got the case of the Mondays.
Yeah, baby.
Monday. Wasn't that an old car ad? Or was it Sunday?
I thought that was Sunday.
Sunday.
Wasn't it about NASCAR racing? Sunday.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, welcome to the Have Y'all Heard About This podcast. We are continuing our excellence in broadcasting. To throw a shout out to the great El Rushbo. So what we got today? Let's kick it off, man.
Well, I've got something. I totally missed it. I actually took a note in my phone. A person asked me, said, "Can you tell this story about golf?"
This is another golf story?
And I totally missed it on episode 11. I got wound up about something, I'm sure. But I wanted to tell you guys about something nice that someone did for me. And,
Okay.
You've got those moments in life where people just go above and beyond to do something for you personally, and it just makes an impact.
Yeah.
And I hope because of events like this in my life, it affects my leadership style and how I try to do for others and be a servant leader. So I'm going to tell you this. So in around late 1990s, kids, Sam, probably before you were born, I was out of college and had been working in the insurance industry, and thought I might do that, maybe the rest of my life, because it was pretty fun work and it paid well, and I was in management. And there was a company out of Decatur, Alabama, that actually recruited me to come and be a district sales manager for them. And I go over there, and I was so excited to get this job. Bought a house in the metropolis of Jasper, Alabama. Yeah. And get there, and people start telling me things about the Walker County Mafia. Have we talked about this before on the podcast?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
Yeah, the Walker County Mafia is a real deal. There's a lot of organized crime there, probably centered around the drug trade and things like that.
Like meth.
Or anything money. I mean, money laundering. I mean, there's a lot of money from the coal mines and stuff there. But anyway, supposedly people, end up in the bottom of Smith Lake. And
There are coal mines in Walker County?
oh man, huge.
Not
strip
Walker
mines.
County, Georgia. This is
Walker
Alabama.
County, Alabama.
Okay, I was so confused.
But still, I didn't know there were coal mines in Alabama.
Well, if they can
anywhere.
dig deep enough, they probably find something in Walker County, Georgia. But nonetheless, I take this job, and
Did you shove it?
I'm just all no. Well, eventually I did, but I was so excited to get that job, and then I start hearing all these weird things, and I find out that the gentleman who I've replaced, who has been fired,
Oh, no.
had been the district sales manager in that district for almost as long as I had been alive, and his last name was Outlaw.
Oh, my goodness.
True story.
Goodness. I love that last
And so
name.
I'm thinking, dude, like, this is not going to end well for me. And I'll say this: it ended well. It did not start well. Nobody liked me. I had a guy come tell me that I was sitting in his desk, I
Was
just,
it Mr. Outlaw?
no, it was one of his good friends who was a manager there who thought he should have been promoted. And you know what I told him? I said, well, guess what, buddy? I didn't hire me. You don't like that I'm sitting here? Go talk to the guy that did.
This is an example of Yule's leadership style.
I like
Yes.
that.
I fired him. That's my leadership style.
It's a servant leadership style.
basically
Get the heck
told him
out of
that.
here. This is my desk, buddy.
About 2 weeks later, I told him to, walk out the back door and don't come back. So here I am, new in this thing in this role, and they would always do these nice trips, if you hit quotas and stuff. Well, I hadn't been there long enough to even have a quota, probably. I mean, they were just trying to retain a few employees. And my VP comes to me, he says, hey, something about the quota trip, or, it'd be great, if you earn the quota trip next year. And I said, well, it may not be any fun, so I don't know if I'll work for that or not. I mean, it sounds holding a carrot out there for me. What if it's a bad trip? Like I'm just messing with him. And I said, in fact, why don't you just let me go on this year's trip to see what it's all about, and then next year I'll bring my whole team with me. Which by the way, I did. Like everybody, after 1 year, everybody in that office who could have qualified for that trip did.
I love it.
Very proud, and that's all we managed to that year.
I love it.
If you're on track for the trip and your partner's not, your friend's not, like help them,
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
It was a great thing. But so anyway, we go to St. Augustine, Florida.
Love it. Love
Stay
St.
in a
Augustine.
Fancy schmancy, oldest hotel in St. Augustine, which St. Augustine's the oldest, one of the oldest towns in the
It's
in the
crazy.
country.
It's like cobblestone.
Yeah.
Was
It's
it
really cool.
downtown?
Yeah, it was downtown.
Like near the college?
I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was beautiful. But we had, the night we get there, we had kind of a reception, and this the word gets out that we are playing at TPC Sawgrass. Does anyone know where that is? What that is?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It is one of the most famous golf courses in the world because of its 17th hole, which it's a par 3 island green. So every year, this year in particular, 2022, when they played at TPC Sawgrass, the wind was howling, and all these pros were dumping the balls in the water they could not hit the green. So it's a very famous hole. So Stuart Sink, if I'm not mistaken, I think Stuart Sink actually got an ace there this year, a hole in one. He's from pro golfer from North Alabama. So here we are at this cocktail reception the night before, and I'm hearing that we're going to Sawgrass, and I am beside myself happy. Well, I said something to the guy. His name was Murray something. I can't remember his last name right off the bat, but Murray was kind of over our like social events and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I said, man, it is such a treat. Like, you don't know what it means to me to get, no. I wasn't talking to Murray. I was talking to Mr. Hughes, who is the president of the company. That's right. Murray set it all up, but Mr. Hughes was, the one I was talking to. And I said, it's such a treat to go out there. Thank you guys so much. You'll never know what this means to me. And he goes, oh, Yule. He had that Southern man's voice. Oh, Yule, I'm sorry. You must be mistaken. The whole crew's not playing at Sawgrass. I'm playing at Sawgrass with Larry, the owner of the company.
Oh my gosh.
And the two highest ranked district managers from the past year. Like, that's our treat to them, I said, oh, okay. Oh, no, don't worry, son. Now, y'all going to play somewhere really nice. I mean, you're going to like it, but it's not Sawgrass. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, I'll tell you what. If somebody gets the stomach bug or gets sick or just can't make it for whatever reason, I said, put me on that short list.
Yeah.
As an alternate. I would.
This is another Staley family story.
So
if you don't make it, let me know.
But he comes, he looked at me and he kind of realized, the conversation, and he says, hey, come with me. He takes me to Murray, who is over, planning, events and planning. Murray, he said, do me a favor. He said, Yule here would like to play Sawgrass tomorrow. He said, scratch my name off that list and just let him take mine.
No way.
I said, oh, Mr. Hughes, like, you don't have to do that. He goes, Yule, he said, in my career, he said, I've played them all. He said, and you may never get a chance to play there again. And he said, I want to do this for you.
Oh.
So when the owner of the company found out that Mr. Hughes wasn't playing, he dropped out. So I got to go and invite my boss to be my guest.
Oh my goodness!
the one that is that the one you kicked out of the desk?
No. That's the guy that hired me. It's the guy that hired me. So we went out there and played Sawgrass, and if I'm not mistaken, I kept my card. I think I shot an 82 or an 83. I parred the island green, 17. I hit the green, 2-putted, par. I also parred the hole previous to that, 16, which was a very difficult hole, and 18 I think is harder than 17. parred it. So I had 3 pars going in. I mean, really one of
And
the
that's a pretty fancy course, it sounds like, too.
Yeah,
That's big
fancy,
time.
expensive. I mean,
deal.
it didn't cost me a penny, other than talking my way into it.
I thought with the Walker County thing, you're going to say he somebody mysteriously died, so that you could play.
Hey, there was
Murray
a
wound
man-
up in the bottom of the lake.
There was a man murdered, through this Walker County Mafia there in Walker County right before I moved there. And I mean, it was kind of like, probably at least local and regional news. Well, what made national news was when his widow then pulls into one of these express oil changes to get her oil changed, and there was a bomb under her car.
Oh,
And imagine the guy scatting out of there, pulling the oil plug and sees this ticking bomb.
Well,
It
they
didn't
always use the
explode.
mirror, and I'm sure it's so funny because I always thought that's got to be so automatic doing the mirror. Like if there was a bomb, they probably wouldn't even know. It'd be like
Right.
in the cartoon or something where they're like,
Yeah.
wait,
Oh, there's one. But it didn't detonate, but it was there. I mean, they were trying to kill her too. They blew him up on his lawnmower. Yeah, they put a bomb on his lawnmower.
What?
Yeah.
That's sacred.
Out there, mowing the grass.
Speaking of corrupt political machines, have you guys ever heard of the Battle of Athens, Tennessee?
I have heard of the Battle of Athens.
Have you, Yul?
No.
I think
So
I heard about it
Athens,
from you.
Tennessee is it's a little town. Probably was it 60 miles or so north of Chattanooga, like on your way to Knoxville.
Right.
We'll have to tell that story one day. That's a good one.
Was that just a teaser?
It was a teaser.
I thought you were about to go in on it now.
No, it's a long story. I don't have all the details in front of me, but it all sprung from a corrupt political machine and World War II GIs that came home and said, look, we didn't go to Europe and fight all this, this
Yeah.
silly stupidness to come here only to have our elections corrupted
It's like
and
the
our ballot
Odyssey.
boxes stolen. And they just said, how about this? We're taking it back.
Yeah.
And they went in fully armed and just stormed the election commission. I mean, it's an awesome story.
Okay. You recall maybe 2 or 3 podcasts ago, I told you what the problem with America is with our young men.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah,
men
yeah,
in
yeah,
general.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
not been to war.
Yeah.
Nobody's gone and toughened up and seen. I mean, I'm
Oh,
I'm
we have.
grateful for it, but you know what I'm saying.
We're
Like
soft to the point that we're
Yeah.
just, it's
like anything
terrible.
happens, it's like, oh, okay, all right.
I go to war every day with
With his
I hear you've been going to war quite
with
a lot
old-
lately with your motorcycle.
old telephone systems.
I hear you've been going to war with your motorcycle, Sam.
Yeah,
Haven't
I'll
Sounds
tell
like
that
every time
story.
I eat a very
I'll tell that
veggie-heavy
story.
lunch, I go to war with my gastrointestinal tract.
I'll go ahead and tell that story. Might as well. So James, you'll like this because you like motorcycles, or maybe you'll hate it.
How could you?
So Chelsea and I, we were gonna go on a really nice little motorcycle. It was her birthday yesterday. We were gonna go on a really nice little motorcycle ride because my parents were in, watching the kids. And so she puts on her motorcycle jacket and realizes the pads in her jacket are like degraded, like they're falling apart. So I was like, that's gonna delay us about 30 minutes. And so we were like, let's go to the cycle. I think it's called Cycle Gear.
Hey, can I just
shop. Yeah,
interject?
yeah, for
You
sure.
told me this story earlier, not on air, but I want to interject now because I've got a question for you.
Okay.
So it's her birthday, and you said, look, now we got to
Yeah.
go get these pads for this jacket. It's going to
Yep.
derail us for like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say, you know what, I'll just get these pads next time?
Just because
of
I love
safety.
my wife.
Well, then don't wreck.
That's a good. That's a good one.
I mean, we just had a driving episode, Sam. Come on, man.
That's true.
It's her birthday. Just be safe. And listen, I could be wrong, but if you wreck on a motorcycle and you're on the back of it, I believe it's the shoulder pads will be the last thing anybody be talking to you about.
I don't know if I'm
That's the
scraping.
weightier part of your body.
If I'm scraping down the highway at 70 miles an hour, some shoulder pads would sound kind of nice.
Anyway, we weren't going that fast, but we.
Oh, well,
See,
then forget
he's
it.
not
If you're
gonna
not
wreck.
going 70, then why
we
not?
So tell them what happened on the
So-
shoulder pad adventure.
So we get James, we get the shoulder pads replaced. Or no, we don't yet. We get in the parking lot, and I let Chelsea off the motorcycle. And if it had just been me, I would have remembered to put the kickstand down. But that extra element, I forget to put the kickstand down, and the bike tips
He
over.
just jumped off without the kickstand down.
I laid
And
down.
just totally
Had
blamed,
I told you this?
totally blamed his wife on her birthday.
No. It wasn't her fault. I'm just saying, like, you know how one
just
thing
said, had it
Just
only been
said
me.
it.
No, I'm not saying it was her fault, but the extra element of like having somebody else, it throws you off in your routine.
I'm not saying it was her fault, but the fact that she was there,
her mere presence
made it happen.
So I laid this thing down in the parking lot.
Happy birthday, Chelsea.
Softly, but a 500-pound motorcycle on a clutch lever breaks it off. and then it bent the shifter, so then we had to go take it to the shop. And our motorcycle trip was almost fully delayed until we went that evening because we were like, we're gonna take back our rightful motorcycle trip that we had stolen from us. And
that's crazy.
And we were able to see a good like view up on Signal Mountain, but then we got caught in the rain coming back.
Oh.
And we had to duck into a gas station. My dad had to come pick us up.
I just want to know, like,
wait, why did you just drive back in the rain?
Because I love my wife. That's the thing.
Happy birthday again, Chelsea. So I just want to dive into this a little bit deeper because I have a feeling, had this been my wife and me, I know how some of these conversations would have gone. What was her demeanor during all this? I mean, here it's her birthday.
Actually, so Chelsea tends to be the calmer one between the two of us. Because I was like, I'm such an idiot. Like, I can't believe I didn't I'm just sitting there like raging, just like, that's my brand new motorcycle.
Yeah.
Just like, and like, why? Like sitting there like I'm the one that kind of despairing. And she's like, look, like everybody makes mistakes. Like she's like calming me down.
Aww.
So that's our relationship.
She's like, you know what? There was a little voice inside her head saying, I don't want to fight on my birthday. I don't want to call him what I want to call him.
No, but I actually got to the motorcycle shop and I felt so much better because all the guys were like, "Oh yeah," that like because once I was telling the mechanic, he was like, "Yeah." Like
did
I
you
hear this
did you
every
tell
day.
him it was her birthday and
I did.
they gave you a little discount maybe?
They didn't give me a discount because they had to. No,
but they did take care of you.
No,
so.
they fit me in. They were 3 weeks behind on maintenance and they fit me in last minute notice. So I appreciated that.
Good customer service is kind of hard to find.
No, yeah.
these days.
Shout out to Honda Power Sports
That's
in
awesome.
Eastridge.
I'll tell you what is
owned
easy
by
to
the
find.
mayor of Chattanooga. Tim
What's
Kelly.
easy to find is bad customer service.
Yeah, I do want to talk about some bad customer
Let's
service
talk about
stories
that.
in a second. But before we do that,
Have y'all heard about this?
all right, guys. Well, we did get a 1-star review. So you want to go ahead and do that or do it later?
I mean, let's go ahead and roll with it. I mean,
All right.
they're kind
You
of
hooked me
disappointing.
now.
Well, the
Kinda
reason I say
disappointing.
this, this just came in, and I haven't even told you guys this yet, but we just got a review from President Donald J. Trump.
Say what?
What? Can you believe this? All right, Sam, that was good, by the way. So
have y'all seen what's the movie with the two guys and they're the presidents? It's like Jack Lemmon and you know what I'm talking about?
no,
Walter Matthau, maybe Jack Lemmon.
yeah, I
You know what I'm talking about?
grumpy old men. They were both in that.
Yeah, but it was like they were former presidents or something.
I don't know, but we're being way too casual about a review from President Trump.
I'm excited.
I mean,
I sang the national.
you know,
Without further ado,
Put my hand on my heart.
You was like, I think I saw a movie back in 1970.
Oh man.
well,
All
I
right.
was just thinking he should be singing "Hail to the Chief" and not the Star Spangled
What? How does that one go?
Or if it was Bill
Well-
Clinton, we could sing "In Hell to the Chief."
Did not inhale. No, that's the point on that movie. They're like, I never knew the words to that. I was just like, "Hail to the chief, cause the
Oh, it's
chief
like-
should be hailing."
It's like it's like. How does it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, well here it is, guys. Here it is. It's our latest review. By the way, if you want to review the podcast, please do so on any platform where
Any
you
of
pick up your podcast.
Any of
And if you want to contact us, go ahead and email us at
HYHAT podcast@gmail.com.
All right.
Do you think we're not getting
More-
as many reviews as we want because our demographic is my age and they don't have
I did have somebody tell me they tried to put us a review on Spotify, but there's no place to do it. So I don't know. Maybe they don't do reviews
I don't
there.
know. It's weird. More importantly, we did get a comment on our YouTube channel from Mr. Nomad Ben.
Oh, really?
Saying you guys rock. So,
Oh, right on.
hey,
Nice.
Right on.
appreciate you, buddy.
That definitely should
Go
have
check
come
out Mr.
before.
Nomad.
That broke
Ben.
the seal on the YouTube comments. I am
Yeah.
surprised we haven't had more YouTube content.
I think that was our first one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was.
I mean, thanks, Mr. Nomad
Are
Ben.
we on YouTube?
Yeah, we
we're
are.
on YouTube. Yeah.
I say we are
Until we
on
get-
YouTube.
until they figure out what we talk about. then
Except
they're gonna piss off.
I forgot to upload like 3 episodes, and I just did that yesterday. So sorry if to our YouTube watchers, Cora, I know you're one of them because I talked to you yesterday. And she said she goes to YouTube, and if it's not there, she's like, "Well, okay, well, I guess the next." She just goes to another platform.
I've never seen a camera in here, so I'm assuming we're audio only on YouTube.
We are audio only. Yeah,
They're not like matching us up with some weird videos.
it's like video game footage. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
Sure.
yeah. So,
All right.
so give us some comments,
Yeah,
give us
yeah.
some questions. We're getting
let's
lots
get
of emails.
to. I mean, it is the president. We probably should.
Yeah, let's
talk about
don't keep Trump waiting any longer. So here's the review from President Donald J. Trump. He says, "Congratulations," and I'm not going to try to do it in his voice
Oh,
because
you
I'll just
should.
screw it up. I mean, I could try, but
Please do.
I could be like, "Congratulations on a terrific podcast."
That's worse than Yule.
I know. Why did you even have me do it?
Yule's was
I knew
better.
it. It's
I can't believe
embarrassing.
it.
Congratulations on your beautiful podcast.
That's not
It's
better.
bad, but
That's
it's
not
good.
better
It's
than
better.
mine. All right, you
I've
try
picked
it.
some
Go.
Andy Griffith.
I don't know if I can do it. Like Trump's the one I can't do. I can do
All
a
right,
lot
I'll
of
just read it.
accents. You should. Just
Congratulations on the terrific podcast. It is magnificent. Whoa.
Whoa.
It's the kind of podcast that will bring China to its knees. Yes.
What an honor.
No joke.
What an honor.
It's truly enormous.
China.
I was very moved by Yule's story of being cheated by the old man in the straight drive contest. You just got name dropped by
Ooh.
President Trump.
What a day this is.
He says, "I have been cheated as well by a crooked old man."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he has "and" twice. And it's no fun. Well, I can imagine that.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I can only leave you 1 star. Aw. What is up with these 1 stars?
Trump.
I can only leave you 1 star because Biden has ruined the strongest and most beautiful economy in the world. I can only afford to give you 1 star. Just kidding. I'm the richest man in the world. Donald J. Trump.
Do you know how many stars he really gave us?
1. I'm looking at
Billions
it.
and billions and billions.
He gave us all the stars.
All the stars for you. Well, that's
He
great,
sounded
man.
like a drunk
I
English
know.
professor.
I can't do Trump.
All the
That's
stars.
What can you do?
I'm pretty famous for my David Crowder impressions.
Well, seeing as how I've never heard of him, I'm probably thinking that would be great.
You must not be a bearded Calvinist from 2010.
Thank you. I'm glad you know. Yeah. I'll have to bring my guitar and do a couple David Crowder impressions.
Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness, that's a great one. All right, so
I only
one
do
star
Michael
review.
Caine impressions.
Guys, leave us some reviews, leave us some comments. We're still getting people asking us for advice. We need to do a segment soon on that again because I know that there's people out there that are hurting, and we're here to help. You know,
Yes,
need
we
to do
are. So if you send us your request for advice in, approximately 1 week later, we will we'll address it as cynically as we possibly can.
Yeah, I don't know when Mr. Nomad Ben left that comment on our episode.
He may have left it before we had him on.
He might have.
Now he's like boycotting us.
You guys rock my algorithm.
Hey, he's a cool guy. I
He was
like
not-
him a
yeah,
lot.
I like them.
That was awesome. We're gonna have him on again at some point.
All right, so I got to tell you guys what happened to me on the way here this morning. So, we're getting here at really at a time of day that most people shouldn't be doing, conducting business, in my opinion.
Conducting.
It's way too early. So, one of the bright spots of getting here this early is that there's a, coffee shop pretty close to here, kind of a small independent coffee shop. And I'm the kind of person that loves to support local business. You know what I mean? I hate Starbucks with a passion. I will never, ever, ever go into a Starbucks. I feel like if I went into the parking lot, the tires on my truck would catch on fire. That's how much I really don't like Starbucks. So I go
Plus,
to this.
they're right there where Artie choked those.
He
guys
hates
at the time.
For
Starbucks.
the dollar. So I go into this little small coffee shop, and I order. I mean, you guys can see this coffee. It's pretty small. I mean,
It's like
approximately
12
14
ounces.
I'll
maybe.
use Starbucks lingo just to get with James. It'd be a grande style or a grande.
I have no idea what that means.
As long as they've been in business, I still cannot get all that right.
I used to work for Starbucks,
and
and so that's the only reason I can.
grande.
I'm going to have to rethink this entire podcast. I don't know that I can sit here with a
But it was a
franchise.
franchise. It was a franchise. It was a franchise. So I technically didn't work for Starbucks. I worked for the Reed House.
Well, look, I've been watching my calories lately. By the way, and this has not really been as big of a thing to talk about as I thought it would be, but I've lost like 17 pounds.
Let's go,
Man,
Yule.
Can you not tell?
I was about to say it looked like you've gained some weight.
Oh
Well,
my
that was
God.
weekend. That's weekend
James,
weight.
you are like the most demotivator.
That's weekend weight.
person.
No, that's motivating to go and lose some more. But because I don't drink sugary stuff anymore,
That's huge.
I have no reason to be in there, and their coffee stinks.
Yeah, the
Like,
coffee's
their
terrible.
black coffee's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, Starbucks?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
horrible.
It's awful.
You've got to add hot water to it to make it palatable.
Well, I'm going on the bacon diet, and so I'm figuring
Oh my
76% of what I eat is going to be fat and
Yeah.
very, very salty. So,
Just drink lots of water. You'll be fine.
all right. So back to this story.
No, you look great.
You know,
by the way.
bacon
you
won't
do
kill
look
you.
great, Yule.
Bacon won't kill you, but heart attacks will.
It's the So very small cup of coffee. It's not even that big. I go through. Now, I will say this: that the young lady that was there, she's like a college student, kind of that age group, kind of like the age of, some of my oldest children. And she's very nice. We had a pleasant little exchange. Some smiles. How you doing? Good morning. It's just it's a.
Oh, it's
You having a good
5:50.
day?
I'm doing great.
I know. I know. And so she gives me my 11.5 ounces of coffee, and then she has this like iPad looking thing that's wrapped in this like a big otter box, and she like
Nice.
leans it over, and this is a drive-through coffee place. And so I know what this is. This is the obligatory. I basically have just handed you a cup of coffee, and you gave me $3. Now please give me a tip.
Oh, it's the worst.
And when you flip that thing back over, they can see if the totals change.
Oh, I know. It's the most
I would
awkward,
look at it.
And not only that, but you've got to sit there and fiddle with it while while they're holding it. It's a big old heavy honking piece of
Oh,
machinery.
so it wasn't like on a
you should've
mount.
just
Like
No,
given
she was
away
just
with
holding
it.
it. She was just holding it.
You
She
just
grabbed
given
it
away
and
with
just
it.
drove off.
Thanks, Angry Birds, rest of the day.
Or you should have gotten out your calculator and just started like
Yeah, where's the calculator on this thing?
Well, and the thing is
it
too,
pre-calculates.
Oh, I know,
no.
unfortunately.
Some do. This one didn't.
Darn it.
Some actually say a percentage.
Yeah.
And so this coffee costs
I kinda
$3.
like this.
So if it had been a 10%, I would have left 30 cents, which I
Right.
thought, that's not terrible. It's still, to me, on principle, we shouldn't be having to tip somebody who just hands you a cup of coffee over a counter.
I'd say,
Right?
I mean, I think there should be the option, but I don't think
even
it should
say
be
that if the
obligatory.
entire. Well, no, I shouldn't say that.
I mean, I don't think it's obligatory. Like, I think I've definitely not tipped at coffee places, but I try to as much as possible.
Well,
That makes sense.
I've had like Clay worked at a coffee shop. His
Yeah.
girlfriend Katie works at a
Yeah.
coffee shop. So I mean, I understand that. Like, look, these kids need money. They're
Yeah.
going to school.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they're working. Right? They're not being
Well-
like, let's do like everybody else and just get
100%.
government
Let's-
handouts,
let-
whatever.
Let's,
So
let's seek some clarity though. What's in your coffee?
it's just black coffee.
All right, no tip. Okay, if somebody goes over
so
there,
it's if you add
froths
stuff
a bunch
to
of
it.
milk and
No, that's
pumps
true.
a bunch of
That's
syrup.
true. If I'm
You
just
know,
getting
if it's
straight coffee, I don't generally
yeah,
tip.
like why
No,
would you
you're-
tip on that?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good point because really all they're doing is like pumping the little
You heard it
thermos
here,
thing.
folks. This is the etiquette for coffee shops. We're deciding it
I
right
hope
here.
the
Huh.
coffee shops are listening.
Well, let me tell you what happened to me this morning. So I like that rule. I think is a good one. I'm gonna
I actually really like that, Yule. Did
Yeah.
you come up with that?
No,
If it's just black
it's
coffee,
like,
don't
if,
tip.
If all they did is pour coffee in a cup, like
yeah.
be thankful I paid $3 for
But
it.
if you're going over there and you're putting the soy oat latte milk,
There you
you,
go.
you can
Chocolate
get milk
macataca.
from pretty much anything now.
So
Apparently.
like every coffee I ever get.
Wait, are you one of those guys? You're doing the
I do
soy,
the oat milk.
The
Oat milk.
oh my goodness!
but not soy.
I used to do soy.
Look at
before
all
oat
the
milk.
ingredients on the side of that coffee cup.
You know what soy
Down
does to
there.
men, right?
It's a plant estrogen. It doesn't actually
Yes.
have as
Oh,
much.
there you go.
Yeah. Turning the frogs gay.
Sorry, the frogs.
That was an Alex Jones reference for some of you who don't understand that. All right, so I get my coffee.
I might be able to do a good Alex Jones impression. I might have to bring that back
Just
a
have
I
little
don't.
later.
He's hard to listen to.
He is hard,
Just yell.
especially now.
He's in jail.
I said just yell.
Oh,
Loud.
I was like, he's not in jail.
All right, so I get my coffee. This nice young lady turns the thing over to me and says, "I get to work," and it has. Here's the options. It says that you can leave $1, you can leave $2, you can leave $3. or you can do custom. So there's no percentage. It's just like a flat $1. So it's a $3 cup of coffee.
Honestly, it's probably a really good way of doing it because it probably encourages people to just click.
Well,
on those
I was going to
options,
say,
you know?
because I would normally on that, had I been
I'd just do $1.
obligated, I would have probably hit 10 or 15%,
That's
which
right.
is 30 or 45
30 cents, right.
You're about to say dollars. I was like, whoa.
No, I mean,
yo.
like, they've gamed the system by saying $1, so $1 is the new minimum tip.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The dollars.
It's smart. It's
So
smart.
me being, very smart and good with money, Tara, I hope you're listening. This is something that you would applaud. I just said, I'm going to hit the custom. So I hit custom,
Nice.
and I thought, I'll leave 50 cents. I mean, that's nearly 20%.
Where's the decimal point?
Yeah, funny you should say that.
Oh,
because
no.
you can already tell what's going to happen, probably. I hit 5-0, and then another 0, and then enter. And I left a $5 tip for my $3 cup of coffee.
Dude, you probably made her day.
And
I
so
don't know,
she could tell on my face immediately that something bad had happened. She's like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "I just gave you the best tip of the day." And she was like, "Oh, wow, thank you so much. Do you want to fix it?" And I'm like, "It's already gone through. Like, how can I fix it?" Like, I've even hit no receipt or whatever. Like, there's no way to go back once I did it.
Yeah, if I were you, I would go back and I'd get a refill this morning. Like, hey, you remember
like,
me?
Hey,
Yes.
remember me from a couple hours ago?
I would like you to call your general manager, get him to
Okay.
issue a
I've got-
refund with Visa.
So I did not want this to turn into James is an idiot podcast, but here's one more story along those same lines. So a couple weeks ago, I go to the barber.
So why is this bad customer service? I thought the
No,
whole
we're getting
premise
there.
of this.
Well,
Okay.
I think the obligatory tipping at a stand, going to get your
At a
food is bad customer service. You don't walk into McDonald's and order a Big Mac and have to pay a 15% tip
That's right.
to the person behind the counter.
I don't think I've ever tipped at McDonald's.
They don't even do that, do they?
Can't.
Can
There's
you even
no-
tip them?
there's
I mean, like
no-
the only tip jar is like the little McDonald's Foundation thing.
Yeah, do you think
Which
that's
is
going
completely
there?
different, though.
You think that's
going to?
I would
Ronald
I've
McDonald House?
always put my change in something like that. I mean, like, it's
Ronald
like
looks like he's got some shiny new red shoes.
I just don't trust that they're going to deliver it appropriately.
No, probably
I
not.
mean, like maybe some do.
Well, they
but I don't
also
trust that they all
kicked. They also. Do you hear that story? The Ronald McDonald House was going to kick out that kid because I think it was like the dad wasn't going to get vaccinated or
Oh,
something. It
well,
was
then
so like.
no, it's because he wouldn't eat chicken nuggets.
They're
they're like,
I
what
lost
kid doesn't
all
eat
respect
chicken
for
nuggets?
them when they were gonna or no, they refused to let his kid have a heart transplant or something. It was bad. Sorry.
So I'm in the barbershop. So first of all, I love old fashioned barbers.
Yep.
Like, I do not go to the rinky dink supercuts or great clips or whatever. I want to go to a barber who knows how to cut a man's hair, and you can go in there and it feels like a barbershop with a bunch of men sitting around complaining about whatever. And so there's this barbershop in town that I like. They have 3 barbers. One of them is a woman, actually. So it's not like
Disqualified.
But no. She's very kind of cantankerous and kind of just
Yeah,
and
typical barber.
She's just a fun barber.
Okay.
And she is pretty. I don't know how old she is. She's probably in her 60s, late 60s.
Nice.
So I go in there the other day and I get my hair cut, and she does a great job. I said, look, I don't want it to look like I went to the barber,
Mhm.
but I want to look cleaned up and freshened up. She goes, all right, I got you. And I didn't even have to say anything else, and it looked, it was
Exactly
great.
what you expected.
Right.
Yep.
So the cost of a haircut in this barbershop is $20 flat.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and
Very
it's
good.
such an old school barbershop that they eschew the credit card machine, so you have to pay
The what?
cash.
Nice.
You can't do cash.
They eschew.
They eschew.
ESCHEW.
Right.
I've never heard that word.
So they
Wait,
well,
can we define what that word was?
it means that they don't participate in that.
Oh my
they don't
gosh,
enjoy
that
that.
is I have such a big vocabulary, and that was
Now you've got +1.
I have +1. I'm not saying I use big words all the time, but I generally know what they mean. But
Yeah.
that one was I've never heard that one before. That's impressive.
So yeah. So they just we want cash only. So I walk in there with a $20 bill. Actually, I had two
Oh,
$20 bills.
no.
I had two $20 bills.
Oh,
And so, and I go in there with
I know where this is
with Levi and Everett, and Levi and Everett are look, I get it. They're very handsome boys. They're just old people see them, and it just stirs something up within them because they see well-behaved boys that can look you in the eye
no,
and actually act like
they're
boys
good
from a
boys.
generation ago, and
They're-
they flip out. They really do.
yeah.
And we get this all the time. We get old people
like
coming up
Opie.
to us like with tears in their eyes, being like, "Your kids just remind me of the way kids were like,
in the 50s.
pre-smartphones."
It's true.
And so they come in and everybody is just like going on about them, and they're and they're actually carrying on a conversation with them, and so
That's so good.
I know. And so I get my hair cut. It's great. And I stand up, and she immediately starts talking to Levi and Everett again. It's like tousling their hair, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are so handsome," and all this stuff. And so she looks at me, and I said, "All right." So I had the 220s in my pocket, and I had them, and they were folded over, and I just handed it to her. So she looked at it and said, "Oh, thank you." She stuck it in her pocket, and then just started like tousling their hair again. And, it was going on and on. And so after about 10 seconds, there was like this awkward pause. And she kind of was like, and I was like, okay, I guess we'll see you next time.
No
and she
change.
goes, okay, see you next time. No change. I gave her $40 for a haircut.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, then what do I do? Do I need to say, ma'am, I really need money back? I felt terrible about
I thought you
it.
didn't give her enough or something like
No,
that.
I gave her
this makes
two
sense.
20s.
Oh.
So we were talking about this later, and Tara was like, look, here's your mistake. The fact that you folded those two 20s over was an indicator to her to pocket it.
And
if
also,
you'd have given it to her flat,
Right.
she would have seen, and she would have
or said, "Hey,
changed it
thanks
out
for the haircut, and by the way, do you have some change for a tip?"
I used to valet, and I used to do coffee, and I used to wait tables and stuff. So all that is to say, you worked a lot of jobs that I used to get tips. I never wanted to act like I was counting them. So kind of like her, like just instantly putting it in her pocket.
Yeah.
That was like kind of my go-to. It's just like, oh, thank you. Not even looking at it, like pocket. Like,
Right.
So yeah, she's probably trying to be like respectful, not like try to count it in front of you.
Well, I did wonder, like, what happened
Do her
later on.
taxes.
She opened it back up and saw that it was 220s. You think she was like, oh,
blessed
man.
her.
Well, you know
or
what's
maybe
even worse?
maybe people do tip that big.
You know what's
I don't
even
know.
worse? Now you've set the bar.
I know.
That's so true.
I got to tell you how old school
You
my
can't
dad
ever
is.
go back to that bar break.
Tell you how old school my dad is. We had I can't remember if it was a Sunday or a Monday, but we got our haircut. Maybe one day after church. I think we just went and got our haircut at like Great Clips or something. And we went to my dad's that evening, I think, and he said, something about, man, you like get your haircut? And I was like, yeah, we went after church today. He goes, you got your haircut today?
On a Sunday?
And I said, yeah. He goes, well, it must not have been a union barbershop. And I was like, I've never heard of
There's
such.
a barber union?
Barber union?
So Dad worked all his life as a Boilermaker.
Oh, okay.
And the union was everything, and they put you to work, and you're on the list and all this stuff. Everything went through the union hall. All the work came through the union hall. So it was like, must not have been a union barbershop. I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm pretty sure that in today's modern economy, people try to make their money when and where they can, cutting hair.
Man, the unions, gosh, unions, I guess, are still strong, but man, back in the 60s,
Yeah, what's y'all's
70s,
view on unions? Like,
I think they're unneeded.
Dude, there was.
Yeah.
I'll say this: unions definitely had a place. They had there was a moment in time that unions literally saved lives. Around safety, around fair work practices, around overtime. There was a lot that I think. And look, I'm a big believer in the free market. The free market typically shakes itself out
when it's free, and when the
But let me
government
tell you
when the
something
government
else.
stays out of it, and
But
it
that's
actually
what
is
happened
a
is
free
the
market.
free market, has competing demands, right? And in the time that unions started being coming around, those were the demands that, hey, we're not going to stand up to unsafe working. We're not coming in here anymore for unsafe working conditions, for lower than needed pay, all these things. And so I think some of the men and women that fought very hard in the beginning, absolutely, collective bargaining is a great tool. But now it's just kind of a pass-through in some of these agencies that's like, you don't need that. Like,
Do you think
teachers need a union?
Yeah.
the fall of the
Yeah.
unions, though, raised up like these, unelected agencies like, I don't know how long the FDA has been around, but like the FDA or the EPA or some of these, like, you know what I mean? Like, did we just outsource that to like the government now?
Yeah, by and large, we did a lot of
Yeah.
labor practices. I
Yep.
mean, we have OSHA, we have things like that unions used to be involved in. But I think
OSHA that almost got used against like the entire
it's
country.
insane. But yeah, but here's the point there. I think what Yule's saying is absolutely right. The free market is one thing. When you have unions that interact with the free market, that's a healthy interchange of things like needs and safety and that sort of thing. But then you get this other bad actor involved, and who's the bad actor? The government.
Yeah.
And when you get that third party involved, things get skewed. Governments have been, have corrupted unions. It's just, it's insane.
Well, it was funny too, because in Chattanooga, I'm like, it's kind of hard to pin Chattanooga because downtown's very, liberal, very like, yuppie. I mean, I'm sure there's conservatives mixed in, like just like anywhere, around here. And it is interesting because downtown there's this like, vegan stuff like that. And then it's also like
Not
shop
where we go.
local,
shop Legos or
and it's
something?
growing too. There's a lot of
Yeah.
money down there. And you know where that money's coming from? Unnecessary tips at counters at those coffee
Right.
shops.
Well, so get this. So, it's like the vegan shop local, like shop, like organic, that kind of thing. But what was really interesting is I was talking to a guy that I used to work with that was, Democratic. Like he was very involved in some of like the Wolf Pack and some of these like liberal stuff. And what was funny is he was saying something about the signs for, I don't remember when he ran Joda Thong Nop Nua or whatever his name was. Do you remember that guy?
No.
Joda? It was like Joda. Anyway, maybe
now
we can have him on
Sam's
the pod.
using words we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I eschew Joda, shock not shooter.
Yeah, I think it was like Thong Nop Nua or something was his name. Anyway, so he was saying that those signs, I don't know how we got started talking about this, but he's saying those signs were made by like unions up in Ohio. They had to be because of the Democratic Party. Because what I was telling him is, he was talking about like money and politics and just kind of the, the horrible, like where, you can't donate more than $2,000 to a campaign, but if you funnel it through this PAC and it's,
Right.
all the money and politics, I was like, okay, well, why, if he's such a third party kind of dark horse candidate, why is he going through the Democratic Party and having to do all these silly things that are compromising his values? And that was like
He
one of them.
owes
And I was
somebody.
like, yeah, well, that was my thing is I was like, okay, why are these signs not being made locally?
Absolutely.
Why are they being outsourced to some union out in Ohio? They were
Right.
nice signs. I
Sam,
have to admit it. But
Sam, you're old enough now. You're old enough now for me to break a few things down to you.
oh, good.
I'm gonna
This is
I'm
the
gonna
talk.
I'm gonna tell you this is the talk.
Oh,
This is the talk about your government
Okay.
that may crush your spirit, but you need to hear it. How many U.S. senators are appointed to each state?
Two.
How many congressmen or women? How many representatives are appointed to each state?
It depends
On what?
on population.
Which is approximately how much per representative?
Is it like?
And you don't have to get this right. I'll just tell you.
Is it like 1,000? or
1,000.
something
No,
like
it's like 500,000.
Whoa.
Oh wow!
It's like
Why did we
500
both say
it's like
1,000?
Why did
400
we both? Yeah.
It's like
Maybe we had too much hope in
486,000.
our election.
It's either like 486 or 508. We could look it up, but it's around that number.
1,000 is probably kind of a small number.
Yeah, there'd be like so many congressmen.
That's what we need is like
You could probably have like somebody slip in.
that's what we need is 28,000 congressmen and women.
I'm just going to do the math. What do we have? 325 million people?
What would 1,000 be?
Oh my goodness. So here's
It'd be like the January 6th insurrection every day coming into the Congress.
Please don't ever say that
I'm
was an
just joking.
insurrection.
I'm just
so,
joking.
so
We would have 325,000 congressmen.
I just said that to make. Said that to make James mad.
so here's what I'm going to bust your bubble a little bit. So a U.S. representative,
Yeah.
right, who goes to Congress represents their district, right? Who do they represent in their district?
Pharmaceutical companies.
That's so true.
You're getting there.
Yeah,
All right,
they're donors.
Think of the they represent the 586,000 people or so
Supposedly.
of that district,
Yeah.
right? Except about half of those are under the age of 18. So I'm not saying they don't represent them,
Yeah.
but who has influence on them? The people that vote, right? That's who. I mean, you either get voted in or voted out. So they represent the voters of that district. So pretty much, if you're under 18 or you have lost your right to vote through felonious acts, you're not represented really. You don't have influence with this person. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe that's
All
why
right,
they
so
always.
let's say now we're down.
education,
So now let's just say we're down to like 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so these are 300,000 people who are have the right to vote. How many of those 300,000 are registered to vote?
I would say
half,
30%.
if that, yeah.
Maybe 30%.
Let's
to half.
just say it's half, so it's
Yeah.
150,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of those who are registered to vote, how many vote?
half again.
Probably another half.
So now
yeah.
you're down to 75,000.
Yeah.
And of those,
Yeah, that's
who
interesting.
vote for the winner?
Probably half. We're just keeping.
Yeah,
myself.
I mean, things are pretty
Yeah.
much half and half in
Yeah.
this
Just
country.
a little over half.
Yeah.
So now you're down to about 38,000 people in
Interesting.
a district who of 500, almost 600,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So of those 30-something thousand voters that get someone elected on a good day, who of those have influence with that person?
The one who goes to the fundraisers and pays the $1,000 a plate luncheons.
Those who they
Yeah.
owe a favor to
Yeah.
through
Yep,
money
yep,
or
yep,
time.
yep.
Yep.
So that's why,
And that whittles that down to maybe about 500 to 1,000 people.
right?
That's their
So
core.
so I was horribly. So this came to me in waves. This understanding. But probably the thing that broke my heart the most about politics was when I was in college. I actually went to Washington, D.C. one summer. I was a political science major. Howell Heflin was a U.S. Senator from my hometown, so I interned in his office for several weeks one summer.
Wow.
And what I saw was that when people wrote in to their U.S. Senator,
Oh no.
that there was a database of prepared responses. The senator never sees this mail. He never sees these letters from the
That's what I
from the peons. Right now,
Yeah.
if it's somebody that has influence with
If
him,
they have
that's
a
what they
hotline
do.
right
They're
into the
calling
senator.
them. They're
Yeah.
calling them. And so what would happen is they would say, "Thank you for your inquiry into this matter." Blah blah blah. We happen to agree with you, and here's our body of work basically supporting that. Or, hey, we actually don't see eye to eye on this, but here's how we're working toward a solution. Blah blah blah. Right. And then guess what? They had a pen machine. It was a machine that literally held an ink pen in it that signed that person's signature.
No
They
way.
never saw it. And so I would get these things back from these senators and congressmen that I would write when I was in high school. Oh man, they really signed that.
Yeah.
Like that's real. That's not a stamp. That's real ink. And then I get there, they never touch that piece of paper. So disappointing.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
So
I
this is
get
what
it.
we should do. We should do an experiment. Write a question or like a letter that there's no prepared response for, like so off the wall, like
Did we really land
talking
on the
about
moon?
aliens.
Oh,
or
there are
something
prepared
like that.
responses for that. Trust
Gay
me.
frogs.
If you
Like
did here's what you should do: is you should say, "I think we should make it a national
like attacking
requirement
Namibia or
that,
something.
that Christmas wreaths are sold only at Easter,
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and then just see what
Something
they say."
absurd, and just see like what
Oh,
possible.
Sam, if you want to be in that database, go right ahead.
Well, now that we've had this sort of like inside view of what happens in politics in Washington,
No, I love it. Thanks.
we
for sharing.
we have a treat for you guys because we actually have some leaked audio from the
Oh.
Democratic National Committee's boardroom meeting.
We just have notes. Do we have the audio?
We have the
Oh,
actual
we have the
audio.
audio.
We have the actual audio. And so we're going to get Sam, if you could cue that up,
All right,
and
all
we'll get into that.
All right, here it is.
Let this meeting come to order.
Okay, wait, don't hit that gavel yet. I have got something to say. I am very, very concerned.
Pelosi?
Well, I don't understand why you men have to hijack the meeting every single time. Why?
What are you over there? Are you woke? Or?
I represent the women of the United States of America.
Wake up.
They want choices. Stop it. Stop taking over the meeting when I want to talk.
Listen, let's stop getting offended over every little thing. We're here for official business.
Okay, well, my first order of business is that I'm very, very worried. I'm worried. Do you hear me?
About
I'm
what
worried.
are you worried about?
I'm worried because the Republicans are they gonna eat our lunch.
You're right.
They're gonna eat our lunch.
This is an important issue.
Yeah, we are not gonna
Ever
win.
since I moved down here from Bar Harbor, Maine, I knew this was going to be a problem with you Southerners.
What are you talking about?
You can't hold a state.
We need help. We need help. We
Yes, you do.
need.
Well,
I mean, gas
well, then
prices are through the roof. What are we gonna do?
Then
What are
we
we gonna
need to
do?
figure out a strategy for this. We can't just lose the election.
do?
Does anyone have any ideas on a strategy?
I mean, we could start another war in Canada.
Yeah, we've done that. We've done that, and it's
Russia's
not.
already started the war.
Yeah, we.
Okay.
Seriously, what are we going to do about the elections? I'm so worried.
We could,
Let's
maybe more riots.
American flags.
More riots.
More flags.
I've
More
got
red
it.
Flags.
I've got it. Monkeypox.
That's
Monkeypox. Monkeypox.
Here.
We need monkeypox. When's the last time we had a case of monkeypox?
I mean,
Scare them to
my
death.
monkey had it last week.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to start voting differently if they can't get the price of jet fuel down.
It's
You know what it's
ridiculous.
cost me to fly to the Bahamas on the
I
weekends
don't
these
even
days?
know because it's paid for by taxpayer dollars. I never see the invoices.
I just fly on Epstein's jet to the island.
Oh, Jeffrey was he was
I miss
such a
him.
beautiful person. He would always compliment me on my outfits.
Listen, you don't use taxpayer money to take your jets around the world. Okay, that is new money.
Yeah, but I'm not nouveau riche.
Well, you need to
Do you think she's
come up
new
to Maine.
money?
I'll show you they are.
I am so tired of you men. It's such a men-centric meeting. I'm so sick of it. All right, monkeypox. How do we get in contact with that little man? The doctor man.
Fauci?
The
Fauci.
He's right back here in my jet.
the little fella.
Doc.
Do we know any celebrities that we could get to get monkeypox to spread it around and make it cool?
You called me? You called
Yes,
me?
Dr. Fauci.
Yes.
We have a very important election coming up. We think we're about to get shellacked.
Yeah, we need
need some
something.
help.
We need something.
Well, you know what we got to do.
How quickly can you spread this monkeypox?
I mean, I'll
to the-
talk to the lab in Wuhan. See what we can get hooked up.
Fauci, you are such a hero.
Tony.
They're going to
Tony,
write a book about you.
Tony, settle down. We don't need this from Wuhan. We just need it from down here in the Chattanooga Zoo's fine. Just
Yeah.
monkeypox.
What about the Atlanta CDC? Do they have some monkeypox there somewhere? We can just get it.
They have all the viruses.
They have all the poxes. They have all the poxes there. All right, good.
Wasn't there a baby born just the other day with 6 toes? Can't we do something like that? A big epidemic.
We'll take one of the toes, and we'll grow the virus, and we'll get all the particles,
Tony, you're making it too
Yeah,
complex.
this is too hot, Tony. We don't want all this
need this
science.
forever.
and then
We
we'll
just
make
need
the
it.
vaccine.
Wait, you're talking about toes and particles?
We
What?
only need this for one
the
election cycle.
droplets.
Yeah, we
What
are going to
election
win 2022. More power to the people. We are going to do. We're
Hold on.
going to crush the patriarchy.
Got an idea.
Okay.
Let's go to the secret room
Okay.
3 days before the election and touch that knob that controls gas prices.
Oh, the gas price knob.
And just turn them right back down, take all the credit for it, win the election, jack it right back up.
Is that enough time to do that? 3 days?
3 weeks. It doesn't matter.
We cannot let them win. We can't.
Don't let your
I'm getting so
dentures
worked up
fall
about
out.
this.
You sound nervous.
I'm gonna go eat a bowl of soup later, and I'm just so upset. All right, well, I've got to go because I've got a meeting with Nancy. I've got a meeting with Nancy. I've got to meet Nancy later for
When
lunch.
you eat the soup, just be sure you're wearing a mask. And go ahead and put on a second mask while you're at it.
Tony, the country's past that. That's old news. We're not. This is about America.
But it's the droplets.
This is about power and winning the election. Tony, make it happen. All right, I'm out. See you.
I'm on it.
The Have Y'all Heard About This podcast is produced by Play It By Ear Audio. Leave us a review, like us, rate us, or subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use. If you wish to contact us or you have a suggestion for the show, email us at hyhatpodcast@gmail.com.